Hey, Planeswalkers, hope you're doing well and staying safe. We're off to an explosive start of a season, finishing out an end of season, and a lot happening here on Friday Night Meta, a weekly series by yours truly, MetaMaster Mythras, taking all things into consideration here to equip you with the best of the best for your game. And on top of that, we like to have some fun. So with that, Planeswalkers, appreciate you tuning in. Flip me a like. Other great ways to support the channel down below. While you're there, you can feel free to hop in the Discord server for questions, or you can ask me down below as well. And in the description, you will find the timestamps where I will give a quick update from last week, or review from last week. We'll dive into best of 1 data. We'll dive into best of 3 data. I'll equip you with the top deck. And then we'll go take a look at some events that had some impacts and do a little retrospective on what's happening and where we're going from here. And many of us know D&D, Forgotten Realms, all sorts of those things. So let me know down below in the comments or in the Discord server if you'd like me to start covering some of the spoilers and give some of my opinions, because I do hear a little bit of that. So with that, Planeswalkers, what do we have going on here? What happened last week? So last week was our 4th and final week for Friday Night Meta. For June, what happened? Well, Mono White Life Gain took the #1 spot back for best of 1. It suppressed both Mono Red Aggro and Boros Winata. Now, the aggro types still maintained most of the top 5, so that's pretty big. And the consolidation of best of 1 was continuing to happen and was much underway. Then when we got to best of 3, the week, certainly Sultai, for the week, Sultai Ultimatum continued to distance itself. We'll take a look at that here in a bit. Izzet Dragons fell off pretty dang hard, which is very, very important. The biggest winner, though, in my book, was Mono White Aggro. Across the board and in Mythic, it maintained one of the highest win rates, around 61%. So we'll take a look and see if that continues. Night Adventures, it certainly had taken a hit on the win rate and had fallen off quite a bit. We took a look at a best of 1 deck, Mono Black Aggros, which was super fun, and then covered the monthly Channel Fireball Pro Showdown, which in the top 8, there were 2 Sultai Ultimatums. So, Planeswalkers, that is what happened last week. Additionally, if you have not already, I encourage you, I just dropped the tier list this week as well. I should have said that at the beginning. Check that out. We have some 50 decks in that as well, which is pretty amazing. So why are we here? For best of 1, best of 3 data, and a whole host of other things. So let's get to it. So here's what we got going on. This is the snapshot of Bronze to Mythic going on here for the win rate today and popularity today. So we literally have like 24 hours in of data. We can see what's working well across the board. Boros cycling, Mono White Aggro still surviving, Mono White Life Gain, Boros Winata, and again, you see that popularity. So you're definitely running into those aggro decks. Like we've talked about. I know many of you in the Discord server have mentioned that as well. And certainly the data is reflective of that. Now, a couple of big things that I did want to point out here is what we see really happening here at the end of the season is that rush. And the big thing is, look at these win rates. Mono White Aggro and Life Gain and Boros Cycling. Massive spikes there at the end. So if you were playing that, probably was a good idea heading into trying to top 1500 there as well. We can see where things are kind of falling in terms of the meta. Again, heavily aggro based. We can see some of that with some of the win rates as well. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and look at a little bit more competitive here when we get to Platinum. I know that's a big piece. Mono White Aggro being at the top. Again, those things. I know CGB just killed it, hitting #1 as well. Again, we see some of the changes here with Boros, Winata, and those things at the top end. We see a lot of battling, but look at these. We see a huge drop in some of these slower decks, which is pretty prominent. Again, similar style here on the way up. But let's do us a favor. I will, and this will be important for those of you, go one by one. We can look at what's happening here. So this would be pretty important to see. where you're at, what you're playing against across each of these. So that was bronze. Now we have silver. I like doing these because we have players at every aspect of the game. Let's look at gold, and you can always pause the video and take a deeper look. So here's what we got going. We again continue to see some of these things. Cycle deck is always a great deck. Now we get into platinum. Starts to change a little bit. We got mono white aggro, mono white life gain in there. Again, percent of that meta really being mono red. There, diamond, that's it, right? We don't expect much data because 24 hours, right? So with that, that is the top end, my friends. Many of you competitive players are here with me right now. So that's what we got going on. In terms of best of one today, let's go ahead and migrate on over to our best of three lineup here, because I know there's several of you that play that as well, and we love playing best of three. So here's what we got going on in terms of win rate today. Biggest piece, Gruul Adventure being at the top. Then we got mono white aggro, Naya Adventure, mono red aggro, then Sultai Ultimatum. Sultai Ultimatum still clearly almost 20% of the meta. Insane. Almost there. We'll talk about that here in a second. Is it dragons, mono red, Naya Adventure? So let's continue to look and drill down. Bam, look at that, almost 20% of the meta. Now off a little bit, but here's what we got going on. Now what I always find amazing is that the win rate is getting better. Still is not as high as some of these other things, but then again, look at this. Bam, Gruul Adventure, crushing it out of the gate. We see that here, huh? Now look, towards the end of the season though, here's what we got going on. We got a little bit different take. We got Team Adventure doing well, Gruul Adventure still doing well, mono red aggro doing well, and then again we continue to look at win rates here, and look at this. Boom, mono red just exploding there, and that's not, again, that's the different take that we saw there. So that's really important for us to understand and take a look at. So let's go back to the competitive scene here. We'll get into platinum. Here's what we got going on. Still similar. Is it dragons still pushing? Mono red still pushing. Again, we can see these moves here a little bit higher. Some of the other stuff drops off. Win rate, Naya Adventure still doing really well. Gruul Adventure is still doing really well in the competitive space. So if we do go all the way and we go one by one, we're really not going to have that data. And I always just like to test. So silver, some of you are playing that in silver. That's good to know. So here's what we got going on in the silver space. Then as we get to gold, here's what gold looks like. Team of Ramp just getting destroyed in gold. Wow. 34. We'll go to platinum. So platinum here again, 64%. Mono white aggro doing really nice. Naya Adventure, Gruul, and then we got Sultai Ultimatum. Is it dragons? Those kinds of things. Let's see if there's any of you in diamond. Now, none of you in diamond. Terrible, terrible, terrible. You're not playing enough, my friends. Anyway, let's go back all the way through. So that's what we have going on here with our lovely decks. So pretty important there to keep an eye on and understand what's happening. So I wanted to give you that take because we're hot off the press and we came off of a season close. So I hope many of you made that top 1200, got that nice mythic qualifier, and we'll see you there. Hopefully, I think it's September, August, September, something like that. Anyway, I might have the day wrong for mine. Let's go ahead and give you a top deck for today. So what one have we not done in a while? We have not done Sultai Ultimatum. I will cover this because we will talk about this a little bit more later. Here's what we got going on. This deck has gone through tons and tons and tons of iterations, a ton of them. The one that I think I have right now that will be posted down below for you is a little bit different. This is obviously, I'll make sure to have another working version in there for you so you have access to that too, because I think the one that I ran Cultivator anyway. But anyway, good deck nonetheless. This one's got a really healthy win rate at 64%. Very, very powerful deck. Many of you know that. We're getting ready for that lovely set change because so many folks are getting tired of this one. Let's look at the matchups here. So what does it not do well against? Gets crushed by mono red. Doesn't do well against mono white. Sultai Nest, it doesn't do well against. Now, a lot of people in the Discord server have been talking about that one. Jeskai Cycling's been doing well. Boros Venata doesn't do well against. Team of Rogues. Gruul Adventure, Jeskai Mutate, and Is It Dragons? So dimmer control. So what's interesting though is a lot of the stuff in standard, minus pretty much everything else, it doesn't necessarily have the best win rate, which is kind of interesting. So, and again, we've talked about this numerous times, but for some reason, it always ends up doing well. So that is a big thing to keep in mind there. So that is the deck that we have today, Sultai Ultimatum. It will be available for you down below. You have access to it. If you got questions, if you got comments, let me know. Also, flip me a like if you're enjoying today's video. Let's go ahead and we'll talk about some of the recent impacts here, which is important. So first, we got Insight Esports. This one had 43 players. Biggest piece, Sultai Ultimatum, mono red. Is it dragons? Mono red, mono white. So wanted to call these out. We do see a Sultai Titan's Nest there, so that was a pretty cool tournament. Standard $1,000. Let's see, Diamond Cup. So this was an after office e-special. And here's what we got going on here. Sultai Ultimatum again, Sultai Ultimatum again. Mono white aggro, is it dragon? Sultai Ultimatum again. Now, interesting here, we have an Azorus blank deck, which is pretty cool. I covered one of these a while back. And again, another Sultai Ultimatum. So wanted to call those out because pretty powerful over last weekend's events. Now here we got the standard 1000 qualifier. Here we got a Jeskai mutate, Sultai Titan's Nest, another Jeskai. Is it ramp Jeskai cycling? Mardu Fury's back in. There's good old Samson. And then we got, is it dragons? So big one there. And last but not least, we got a big magic tournament that I want to cover. So another 43 here, mono white aggro, Jeskai mutate. Is it dragons? Team Adventures, Sultai Ultimatum, Grixis control, which is pretty cool to see there. And then last but not least, Nai Adventures and Jeskai mutate. So that is the big magic event that we have going on. So with that, Planeswalkers, huge host of events. We saw Sultai plays pretty well, which is why I wanted to equip you with that one here. So let's go back. Let's go back to our meta. And here is what we have. So, Planeswalkers, as you get going here in the first 15 days before the next set, I wish you the best of luck. Those of you that closed out hard and strong and had fun. Those that hit an MQ, congratulations. We'll see you soon. And I wish everyone the best in this new season. So, we did cover what happened last week. We covered your best of 1 data. We covered your best 3 data. We equipped you with the top deck, Sultai Ultimatum. We gave you a nice window into what's going on right now to hopefully help you navigate the reshuffling, the re-racking, and restacking of all these players right now. And then last but not least, we talked about some cool tournaments, key tournaments, lots of stuff that you can always participate in, which is fun and good to see. And last but not least, Planeswalkers, we look forward to all the new things coming. If you, again, enjoyed today's video or just enjoy this segment, flip me a like. Always appreciate that. Other great ways to support the channel down below. You can get lovely hats. I got the merch swag store. Other ways to support as well. So thank you, YouTube members, patrons, and the works. And Twitch subs. We just got a sub day where I do play you, which I love doing. So please, please, please feel free. I do try and do that a few times a month if I can, particularly set resets like this. I will be doing at least once more for sure this month. So last but not least, if you want to see spoilers, if you want my feedback on D&D and Forgotten Realms, please let me know. Would love to hear from that because I got to do a little planning, kind of figure out segments and how I want to do that. So Planeswalkers, always appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this week's Friday Night Meta Analysis. We're getting there. It's going to be coming soon. New set. Let's go, friends. So with that, until next time, you stay safe. See you again soon. Mythras out.